Starting the new format out with a bang. 100 players played this vintage RCQ on MTGO. Welcome back, vintage gamers, to the first stream post ban and restricted announcement restricting Urza Saga and Vexing Bomble. I did play a tournament last night. I played this exact Doomsday list where I top-8'd, but it was a sad affair. I played 5 Dredge decks in 7 rounds and 2 Lurrus decks, going 5-1 versus Dredge and 1-1 versus Lurrus. It was quite a tournament, I must say. The new post-Saga metagame is still shaping out, but people have come around to the idea that they want to play Bazaar Baghdad again. Not that Bazaar Baghdad was bad before the restriction announcements, because Dredge was actually one of the best performing decks before the announcement, but now people, they feel they can bust out the Bazaars, and so Dredge is the most played deck in current online vintage, more than 20% of the metagame in the last 2 challenges. So that's the number one. The best performing deck is actually what I said in my restriction video, not Lurrus Saga, I can't say that anymore, Lurrus Control, and the Esper variety at the moment, huge win rates over 2 events, something like 60+%. And then people are doing well with Initiative as well, just because Initiative, kind of slots right in there. Every other deck, basically in shambles, even Doomsday, are only around a 50% win rate. So yeah, we're going to play Doomsday today, just like I did yesterday. I think Doomsday is like a high power deck. The problem with Doomsday is this particular version of Doomsday is not good against Lurrus Control. And I didn't really make it to be better against Lurrus Control. It's especially this Esper version of Lurrus that plays a main deck Caracas, so you can't even bring in Shieldred. There's some thought going around. Kevin Subasakat just won a tournament in Japan where he played 4 main deck frogs and cut consult and stuff. It was a very interesting version. So there's some room to change, but we're just gonna play the high powered deck. This deck is extremely good against Dredge, which is one of the main reasons I'm playing it today. The Dredge matchup is extremely good. You can win game 1, and then it gets even better post board with 4 ley lines and 2 tabernacles, and it just it's almost a free win unless you play against Lord Beerus and he hits you with the 7-card keep with 3 pieces of interaction and a Dredger. Or the game 2 keep where it's a 7-card keep with 2 hollow ones and 2 pieces of interaction. Those are just Lord Beerus things. He's a very powerful necromancer. Anyways, so anything about this list? This list is the same 60 that I've been playing in recent tournaments pre-restriction. I love the one main deck, Chain of Vapor. It's been extremely good for me. I like not having negation in my deck. I love the 1 days, but I boarded out a ton. And then the sideboard is basically the same. I have just upped my Tabernacle for Dredge and Countervine because Countervine is back. And I have a couple Shieldreds in the sideboard for Countervine. That might just not be necessary, but I haven't really considered like some kind of crazy overhaul to make this deck better against control. It's a huge problem, and I haven't really figured it out yet. So we're just not going to address that problem at the moment, and hopefully, like, Lurrus Saga matchup is still winnable. Like, you can still definitely beat them, but it's not a good matchup, so something has to be done versus that. You don't have to mulligan to Leyline versus Dredge. You can keep a hand that is like a powerful Doomsday kill, because Dredge doesn't actually have that many forms of interaction. They have to mulligan to Bazaar. They can't mulligan to interaction. That's why you win a lot of game 1s. Anything else? Oh, we're 5 minutes out. I did not realize that. Okay, so what else do I want to talk about? I'll bring up the data. Why don't I bring up the data? I guess I should also, let's bring up the data. I'll show you the data. I made a post about this last night on my Patreon, so people before the event had my read. This is the last 2 challenges. Not too much magic, obviously. And this is the new data formatting that we're going to try out for a little while, and we'll tune it as it goes. But what I've done is I have extracted Lurrus from the other decks. The reason I couldn't do this in the past is because we had about 3 years of data that didn't always have the information of whether it was Lurrus or not. And so there was no real way after Daybreak removed the API access for us to fix the data. But now that we have a complete overhaul on what the format is going to look like in terms of Saga, I felt like it was time to start a new spreadsheet And this also helps us solve one of our bigger problems with the spreadsheet formatting, which was we were running out of space. We were hitting the 1 billion cell count. Obviously, this should be a database, but this is okay for now. These are the first two events, and you can see here, Dredge, 22% of the metagame. As well, you know, Lurrus Saga here, Esper Lurrus Saga, 64% win rate in over 2 events. Obviously, these are all really low. Even, you know, this is a 10% confidence interval. But yeah, so here you go. Lurrus, Dredge, Initiative, Doomsday. But you can see I separated Lurrus out. So now we have, you know, separate spots for Lurrus PO versus Tinker PO. Breach. This might end up being too granular, but maybe not. I've also added a bunch of other things that have popped up over the last few years. Red Prison being a main one. Eldrazi and Merfolk, we'll see if those actually come to fruition. Scam is a deck I kind of expect to see more of. We'll see if that actually holds up. And then I have a big bucket of blue control decks that are not Lurrus decks. If we end up in a place where we have some distinct blue control decks that are not Lurrus decks, then we will expand out from there. So, new classification system here, but you can see right now there are not very many decks winning. The only decks that are winning right now, Dredge, Esper Lurrus, Initiative. You can't really say Scam is winning right now. There's only 3 players. So 3 decks are winning and everything else is doing terrible. This is a brand new format, and I wouldn't know. I don't think we're better off yet. There might be some amount of, you know, shifting happening, but right now the restrictions have put Vintage in a worse place than it was before. Hopefully that will all sort itself out. Anyways, last thing I want to say before we go into this video, this will be like an 8-round RCQ. This is my first stream back from surgery on Wednesday. I had the skin cancer removed from my leg. We cut pretty wide around it and have a high chance that is all gone. We will know in 2 weeks whether or not that is the case. If we get back that there is more, we have to go back in and cut it up again. If not, then stitches out in 3 weeks, and then it's just a monitoring thing forever. But I think mostly good news. Surgery went really well, and I'm just sitting here with a hole in my leg playing some Doomsday. So yeah, we'll be trying to back to our normal schedule, and I have a bunch of donation deck lists that I'm behind on, and I want to start playing some new format decks as well. So more vintage content on this YouTube channel every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I will see you in round 1 of this RCQ. Are you interested in weekly vintage metagame recommendations? Do you want to see your deck list played on my channel? Or maybe you are just looking for the best way to support my vintage content. Make sure you check out the Patreon link in the description below. Let's battle. Okay, welcome to round 1, Vintage RCQ. We're up against the very powerful Bullwinkle. I don't even know if he counts as a Zoomer anymore. I guess the definition of Zoomer doesn't change. Just a young guy. Known sometimes for playing Paradoxical Outcome and other things like that. We'll have to see what he chooses to play today. I like a Flusterstorm Cantrip hand against his typical range of decks. So. Okay, we got the very, very powerful Mox Brainstorm Fetchland opener. No Lurrus revealed. If I had to guess, I think Bullwinkle might end up being on like an Esper Tinker or PO deck, but totally within his range to play a variety of blue decks. So one annoying part about Flusterstorm in Doomsday is like, who's holding up Flusterstorm? Like, I wanna cast these cantrips. So we'll have to see. It's really funny because all the young kids who were playing Vintage or learning Vintage around the time that I started streaming are now all not super young kids anymore. Like, there was a contingent of like, you know, 15 to 17-year-olds when I started streaming, and they're now all like finishing up college. Yeah, Jacob, Slasher, Bullwinkle, you know, all those guys. I think it's kind of funny. I was just thinking about a lot of stuff last night because you know, someone had brought up in Discord about, you know, streaming to 0 and 1 viewers, and I'm like, it's certainly different because when I started streaming, I didn't have, you know, I didn't have a ton of viewers. It was like 0 to 5 viewers, and I had to build up from the same spot as everyone else who just starts streaming. I got lucky in the sense that I got a massive influx of Doomsday. massive influx of audience with the whole COVID thing happening. But, ugh, Necropotence. Yeah, I mean, starting off with a Moxen is just extremely powerful. It's Dredge. Dredge is most of the strongest Bizarre deck. It's the most powerful raw power level. It takes a lot more work to hate. Not more work to hate, but like it requires hard hate. It requires you need like ley lines and things. And Black Lotus? Holy shit. So my opponent opened with a draw 14 or whatever, a draw 11, and I have 4 cantrips and a Flusterstorm. So I can't imagine we can ever win this game, but there's always the possibility that the Necropotence does not draw the cards you need to win the game. That's always that could happen. The best draw for me is probably going to be Force of Will. Hold up Force of Will, Flusterstorm, and hope my opponent doesn't have the requisite resources off of this Necro. That's not a very good plan because my opponent can draw another 6 cards with Necro on the next turn, but... So yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking about how we've been at this for quite a while now, right? 7 years or something. I was also thinking about how it was kind of nice when I streamed some TFT recently for the box. I just like put on music and just chilled out and jammed games, and we had a pretty good audience actually. It was like 20 people or so, but it was definitely a different vibe. It was kind of a nice little change, but it's just a different kind of content that you're making. So my opponent pitched 5 lands in a Doomsday. Chain of Vapor. Well, we definitely don't want to Chain of Vapor or anything. I'm just gonna pass here and hold a Flusterstorm, and I mean even Flusterstorm is not enough. Like my opponent can just cast Doomsday through Flusterstorm because they have 2 of their 3 Moxen and Lotus. That's vintage sometimes though. You keep a hand without force and you die. Which is why the Vexing Bauble restriction in particular kind of didn't sit with me very well, because the decks that really benefited heavily from Bauble existing were these Force of Will list decks that didn't have a real chance anyways. But yeah, I don't want to talk about that too much. I just want to play a bunch of Magic today. My opponent floated blue, so like they can't like Dark Ritual and pay here, but I just have another Flusterstorm. So I'm gonna let's take a quick peek at the deck list. I assume it's my deck list or similar. Yeah. I wanted Vapor originally because of Archon of Emeria. We just have like very few reasonable outs to Archon of Emeria. So I liked it in the main as just a catch-all answer. And it's not like you have permanents they can bounce back or anything, so. Yeah. I mean, Doomsday Mirror. Yep, there's a Chain of Vapor in the main. Chain of Vapor at the moment, like it's not like Chain of Vapor was my idea. I'm pretty sure Eric was playing Chain of Vapor before me. But at the moment, if you see a Chain of Vapor in the main, it's typically going to look like my list. Yeah. Let's just see. Flusterstorm, Gush. Yeah, okay, sure. They named Urza Saga. Very cheeky. Very, very cheeky. The kids. Okay, so I have 2 Shieldreds, they have 2 Shieldreds, something to keep in mind. Definitely bringing them both in. Negation and Trap and Dress Down also coming in. So it's going to be a same mirror here. So the problem is, a lot of times you like to take out Dark Ritual in this matchup, but if I have Shieldred, Dark Ritual gets a little bit better. I think the answer is still at least a Dark Ritual. Now, do I want a Chain as an answer to a Shieldred? No, Chain is not a good answer to Shieldred. I will play a Fatal Push, though. Like, if it was one Shieldred, I would say you can probably just skimp on an answer. But with two Shieldreds, you probably want this. Like, on the draw, I could cut those days, but just gonna trim a Preordain. I would like to trim another Dark Ritual, but I think with the two Shieldreds coming in, I don't want to do that. Let's try this again. Someone asked how large is this event? 105 players. Yeah, this hand looks fine. Well, yeah, so the big question in Doomsday world right now is Psychic Frog. How do you beat it? Should you play it? I don't really have, like, I didn't get to play a lot of MTGO after the restrictions, so I haven't really worked on it. Previously in the old metagame, I wasn't super happy with Frog in Doomsday, but you know, there's a world where Kevin did a really cool thing where he played 4 Frogs in the main and then cut an Oracle and Consult and like made some different patterns and loops and stuff. So yeah. I don't know. I don't know the answer. Shieldred is definitely good in the mirror though, so that's not a bad thing to have some Shieldreds. The big problem with Shieldred is now that if the main Lurrus control deck is Esper, and they play a Caracas in the main, then you just like lose your advantage. So something to think about. But it does like double over to people who are playing Countervine, which is a historically bad matchup, and it's good in the mirror. But I think most creatures are going to be good in your mirror, so. Interesting. I think I'm just going to top these. Daze and Gush, not exactly a combination here, but it'll work when we have 3. I'm just going to play this out and then do this. DT. And another land. Do I want a DT? Like, technically, I have all the things I need to combo next turn, right? I have... like, more than I need next turn. What is this? I mean, the DT's got to be fine. There's a world where I should maybe even Street Wraith. The problem is, like, you don't really want to be the person going first in terms of, like, casting Doomsday, but we might not have a choice. I guess we could technically DT for a Flusterstorm. That might be interesting. Like, if we draw a... well, if we draw a Dark Ritual, then we don't have enough mana to DT for a Flusterstorm either. Did not shuffle with the Ponder. So what do we want? What do we want to do? I guess if I get my Doomsday Flusterstormed, I just don't really care, huh? So it's probably fine. Like, I can wait, but I don't actually have more counter magic. I guess I could technically DT for a Force. I could Street Wraith and get another card because I have a Gush to break into the pile no matter what. This is kind of in a hard spot just because there's so many choices. Could just DT for an Ancestral. I'm gonna cycle the Street Wraith. I don't know if that's correct, but I'm gonna do that. All right, well, we have another little backup plan here. I don't think I'm supposed to fire off the Doomsday yet. I think we're gonna just cast this Ponder and try to build towards something different. Yeah, like that. Like that. Okay, so do I want another Force of Will? Doesn't actually hurt, and I can fetch it away. So on my next turn, I can go Doomsday, Gush. Still can't beat a Flusterstorm, though. But should I be, like, DTing to beat a Flusterstorm? Doesn't feel right to me. Second Force. All right, I'm just going to pass with this information, and then if we don't think we want Force, then we can just fetch. DT? No, I don't feel like DTing for a Lotus is particularly good. This turn could easily go, my opponent goes all in, and we want Force. No, they're not going to go for it either. I don't think I want this second Force. I think I'm just going to go Undercity Sewers. I mean, I don't think this Daze is online, though. All right, I am going to top this and cast a Doomsday, and if it gets countered, I think I'm okay. Like, if it gets Flusterstormed, I think I'm okay with that. I could still Gush, too, if I wanted. Because I can make a land drop this turn. We're going to get our freaking stacked Flusterstormed here. Oh, man. This is a problem. One has 10 cards in hand right now. So I will Gush, just because I need to make my land drop this turn anyways, and I'll pick up this Undercity Sewers and get more value from it. I likely have to survive one turn from my opponent here. And then try to come back and do something else. But we're going to be so far behind because my opponent cast Ancestral into Brainstorm Fetch, so it'll be really hard to win this game. Our opponent's card quality is just like a little bit higher than what we were using. That being said, I could have played this game differently. I could have DT'd for Ancestral and tried to play it through that way. Totally possible that I played this game in an insufficient, too passive of a state, maybe. They're going to force the Gush. That's fine. That's actually like a huge win for me, if that's the case. I'm okay with that. Yeah, sure. Pitch a Flusterstorm, too. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think I'm going to die on the next turn with 5 cards after they use a Force. I don't know why they forced that. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I mean, I could have dazed it, but, like, I don't actually think that's good play. I can't really lose all of my mana here. Don't think I want that. Yeah, I guess I want that. Yeah, I don't know. That's a really weird Force, but maybe he plans on passing the turn again, so he doesn't want to have too many cards in hand. But that's both Flusterstorms gone, so we don't have to worry about Flusterstorm for the rest of the game unless he changed my list, which I didn't see any reason, any indication that that would be the case. Doomsday mirrors are really hard. Or really easy, depending on like how the game goes. Like the game's either like, oh, I have the thing and you don't have the thing, or it's like a crazy grind back and forth. Here's a Doomsday. Here's a Force. I don't think I understand like the instinct to daze there, but I just don't like it very much. Like I honestly don't see how you can win the game if you just like lose all of your mana. And I think you need to have double Force up for this turn. Obviously you could draw into the Gush and draw into the second Force, but like you might miss. Like it's totally possible you miss. I think dazing there would be a mistake, but I understand the the draw. My opponent had a Force on my turn and a Force on their turn and a second Force on their. So they had 3 Forces. So now if they just have another cantrip, we lose. But they did use a Gush. It's just like it's extremely hard for us to ever come back from the fact that my opponent cast Ancestral into Brainstorm Fetch. Like just the card quantity and quality of that combination is just so much higher than what I was doing. My opponent is, 4 cards deeper into his deck than I am, and got to pitch away 2 bad cards. So I was confused why my opponent would force my Gush, but the answer is here, where my opponent has triple Force. So not actually worried about not resolving the Doomsday. I assume we're dead. All my opponent needs to have is a follow-up cantrip spell in the 3 cards remaining in their hand. But actually, they gushed, right? So 2 of the cards are lands, or have they played a land? They have not played a land, so 2 of the cards are land. So if the 3rd card is not a cantrip, then we actually have a chance here. I think our only reasonable line is going to be DT for Ancestral and hope they misbuilt the pile, though, which is not usually a good thing. We'll have to see what they build. I'm not going to fret about it too much until they actually pass the turn, because I don't want to spend a bunch of mental energy to find out that they had a kill. So they're getting Ancestral, which means they don't have a cantrip in their hand. Because if they had a cantrip in their hand, they would just go cantrip into Gush. I guess theoretically the cantrip in their hand could be Street Wraith, in which case they can go Ancestral. I probably wouldn't go Ancestral just because of Mental Misstep. You haven't played any 1-drop spells this turn, so you could run into Mental Misstep in this way. But they also, I guess, yeah, my Mindbreak Trap would have already happened. Yeah. Ugh. So my opponent needs to build a pile here that has... They didn't build it with Flusterstorm. They didn't build it with Force. Oh, they have 2 negations. Okay, so this is a different deck list than my deck list. I see 1 Shieldred and 2 negations, so this is a different deck list. So there could be more Flusterstorms. All right, they did not have the follow-up. So they have 2 lands and an unknown card, and then they built their pile with Ancestral on top. No reason not to do this. Yeah, 3 lands. Oh, I drew Ancestral. Huh. This should be a winning game. I feel like we DT for Mental Misstep. Mental Misstep their Ancestral, and then when they're at 3 cards on end step, Ancestral them is my plan. Let me just do a quick double check of what is going on in these piles here. Yeah. I like my line here. Kind of unfortunate for my opponent. I think my opponent should not have forced my Gush. I would never have forced Gush in that spot. You run into some problems based on like their counter magic. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna counter the ancestral, and then on their next end step, I'm gonna ancestral them. And then that way they don't have any way to beat that. Like if they had built their pile with a time walk here or a street wraith, then I would have ancestraled in response. Not in response. At end of turn on time walk, and then in response to street wraith because you can't counter street wraith. There's like a bunch of different timing windows, but that one should be the safest. I'm gonna put this daze back. And then, yeah, I got really lucky there. I think I drew pretty well at the end. I also just, like I said, I don't like my opponent countering my gush. I think they should just have triple force backup for their Doomsday. But I didn't see their hand, so there might be other reasons. Who knows? Game 3. That was a cool game. That game was much more interesting than game 1, right? Force probe misstep 4 lands. Sure. Totally fine. We did see a Shieldred. We only saw one Shieldred. Another Sapphire opener. I think that Ponder with a fetch land is like a high enough value mental misstep target to go for. I'm just gonna wait here. This represents Flusterstorm, and I just want to use the Undercity Sewers value right away. I think that's the highest value, and then we still have like other options coming through. Time walk, sure. My opponent has a substantial mana advantage with Mox plus time walk. We'll have to see how that plays into this game. Black gush. Sure. I mean, black gush into land Doomsday Flusterstorm backup, maybe? It'd be pretty sick. I mean, I have to. The deck is like super broken. Like I don't want to play Lurrus control. It's just like not my style of deck. So like what other choice do I have? There's no other choice. Like you either play Lurrus control, you play Doomsday, or you play Bazaar. Like that's the whole format. We had a really nice and wide format, and then it got blown up for fun. I don't know what to say. Yep. My opponent has 1, 2, 3 restricted cards. I guess we technically had 2 restricted cards too. That's okay. I already made a video. We're good. We're playing Magic now. Yeah. Yeah, Shops is definitely bad now. They Shops was having a renaissance. Golo's Shops was incredibly strong. Jewel was very playable, and now Shops is bad again. I would like to upgrade at least one of these lands. Hey. I can upgrade both of these lands, right? I'm gonna fetch now before like something bad happens to me. There's like opposition agents and things that can happen here. I'm not gonna cast Ancestral. I'm gonna try to use my Ancestral at a point where I can use my Mindbreak Trap to protect it. I mean, I went over it in the start of the video. You can go back and look. I went over, like, there are 3 decks that are performing well, and every other deck is below 50%. This Force of Negation, there, like, but the big thing is, like, Ancestral Recall is an instant speed spell, which means you can protect it with a Mind Break Trap. So my opponent can go like Cantrip, Dark Ritual, Doomsday. I can respond with Ancestral Recall, and then I can Mind Break Trap the stack if they counter it with like Flusterstorm or something. This is the same kind of predicament we were in game 2, where my opponent cast Ancestral Recall in response to my spell, and I couldn't do anything because if my opponent had a Flusterstorm, it was too bad. And they did. They had 2 fetches. They had 2 Flusterstorms. I don't think it's like unreasonable to like not fetch there, but we have so many cantrips that I think it's. I would much rather pass the turn presenting Flusterstorm and having Ancestral Mind Break Trap. Like I'm okay with not using this Ancestral for a little while. Like I don't think I'm pressured into casting Ancestral right now. Like I can just go. Now the downside here is I would have liked to draw a land. So that's the downside of that this sequence here. But I have a Preordain, so I'm not particularly worried about hitting a land drop. Like we can play this game slow and outcard advantage our opponent, is what I'm trying to say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I could just cast Treasure Cruise. I don't want to though, because I don't want to easily run into a Flusterstorm that I don't have to. Don't know about if I want this dress down though. Like I said, I think there's like some value to fetching because of things like we didn't see an opposition agent, so it's probably unlikely. But opposition agent and then stuff like that. Unfortunately, this sequencing kind of hurts me a little bit. Nope. I mean, tier 0 is Lurrus right now, but Saga Doomsday beats Dredge, and Dredge is 20 to 30% of the format, so. So unfortunately, this sequence ends up being a little rough on me, but I don't really know what I was supposed to do here. DT was kind of an annoying one. Now I'm falling behind. I am representing Flusterstorm, though, so my opponent might not want to jam their Ancestral into my Flusterstorm. Did not end up being the case. I think I have to negation pitch Cruise on this, though, which is really bad for me. But I can't really let my opponent resolve this Ancestral. It's like super bad for me. I played this pretty poorly. This whole section I could have optimized slightly better. I'm just going to be down too many cards here, and I lost like one of my best catch-up cards. But if they end up Flusterstorming the stack, then it's really good for me. Unless they have their own Mind Break Trap. Which would be really bad for me. I mean, I'm representing Flusterstorm, which would be better here than Mind Break Trap, but... So they had Fluster. They have 3 cards remaining. If I win this stack war, I do probably win. But if I don't win the stack war, I mostly instantly lose. You have a lot more faith than I do, Nico. I think that what you've called for with these bans is just really bad for the format. But we'll see what happens. Could all work out. All right, so hit the Ancestral, the Fluster, the Fluster, the Fluster, the Fluster, and the Fluster. Done. Do they also have another counterspell? No. All right, so I get their whole stack, and I get my Ancestral, and we're in a great spot. So it ended up working out, but again, I don't exactly like the way I did that. Could have done some things better. Do we start with Ponder? Doomsday's winning. That's a Doomsday. They could have negation still. Okay. If they do not have negation, then Gush into Ancestral into Double Oracle. Okay, Gush into Lotus, Ancestral. It gives us 4 mana. Oh, it doesn't give us enough mana. I guess I can go Sapphire, Double Oracle. Is that worth it? Gosh. I guess I don't need... I guess I can just get... I cut days. I need to keep the Gush to break into the Doomsday pile, Tristan. What? I'm confused. I feel like they have nothing, and it doesn't matter what I talk about. So let's just do Time Walk. I guess there's no reason to Ancestral then. So let's just do... I don't know. I don't care. Gosh. This is when I have too many options and none of them actually matter. Gush down to 3. Like, if I do Gush now, there's like, they clearly have nothing. So what's that? Why am I like worrying about it? Whatever. This lets me play 2 oracles, which is probably fine. I don't think this force actually does anything, though. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Does not matter much. Cool games, though. Cool games. I think we could have slightly optimized. But overall, pretty sweet ones. That's a good mirror win versus a talented player, so I will take it. Okay, round 2 versus the player who won the very first Vintage Challenge with the new format. Should be Esper Lurrus. Very, very hard matchup, which is a pretty reasonable reason to not play Doomsday right now, because this will probably end up being the most played deck eventually. Second most played deck at the moment, so... Gonna keep this one where... We technically have a Doomsday on turn 2, but we won't have a way to break in the pile if we have to force. It's a little rough. Definitely a keep, though. I couldn't tell you if Blue Black or Esper is better right now, but right now, Esper is the one everyone's playing. Because he won the first tournament with it. It's a copy-paste meta. I mean, white gives you Caracas. White gives you Swords of Plowshares. White gives you Containment Priest. White gives you Artifact and Enchantment Removal. Saying that white doesn't give you much, I think, is not the case. So what I might do here... I'm thinking about Mystical for an Ancestral. Ancestral on their upkeep. Plays around Flusterstorm, Spell Pierce, and everything like that. I don't think they have Flusterstorm. I think they have just Spell Pierce in the list. Let me go back and look. Bowmaster, Lavinia, Frog, 4 swords, Twister, 1 fluster, 1 pierce. Yeah, I'm gonna mystical for a like if I go for a Doomsday, it's so all in. Like if my Doomsday doesn't resolve, I just lose. But it is like a pretty nice looking window, beating Spell Pierce, not beating Flusterstorm. How many negations? They're on 4 force, 3. They're on 7 forces though. I don't know. This feels wrong. I feel like getting Ancestral here makes more sense to me, but because they have like 4 Bowmaster, I got no cards left. Oh, okay. So they just had negate. All right. Well, I mean, so the biggest problem is like if my opponent just goes like land Bowmaster, I can't really cantrip my way out of this game. Lavinia, Frog are all reasons to jam early too. Looks bad for me. Looks bad for me. Like this matchup is just so bad. It's really hard to beat a deck that plays 10 counter spells and then a creature that draws a card every turn, and then and then creatures that stop you from drawing cards. It's just gonna be miserable. Like, would that have gone better if I had gone for a ancestral? I don't really think so, but. All right, they're out of cards, so if I draw Ancestral right now, we have a chance. That is Ancestral right now. Costs a lot of mana, though. They're still gonna do so much here, though. I have to win on the next turn because the Tameo is gonna flip for Ancestral. Frog is so broken. Hope I don't get wastelanded. I didn't get wastelanded by Lurrus. Ugh. Yeah. That's an annoying magic card for sure. I definitely need to start with land drop here. Yeah, I mean, this card's really strong. Unfortunately, we just die if we cast Doomsday, right? We go to 6, and then we die. And my opponent's getting an Ancestral. Yeah, we did not draw the right sequence of cards there to put a chance up. We had chances to win that game if we drew the right sequence of cards, but this Daze was not it. Unfortunately, now my opponent's going to draw 7 cards this turn, and we lose. And this is the biggest problem with playing Doomsday from this spot, is this deck is just going to continue to pick up steam as it continues to do well, and this matchup is atrocious. I'm not even sure how you make this matchup, like, I really haven't figured out how you make this matchup playable. It's just terrible. It's so bad. Buys back negation. Well, I mean, they don't need to restrict Doomsday if everybody plays Lurrus. Like, the matchup is unplayable. DT. Sorry, demonic consultation. What does consult do for me? I mean, what spell does something for me is a better question. Yeah, I don't know. I question whether the 4 frog list is actually good in the matchup, or you're just playing a bad version of Lurrus, right? I don't think this does anything. I guess I can consult for an Oracle and hope it's in my last 2 cards, which might just be the best. Might just be the best play, because if I Doomsday, I can't even win the game because there's a Lavinia in play. Sure. Let's just YOLO it. Bosses. Oracle. All right, so I want 1 Oracle in my top 6 and 1 Oracle as my last card. It did not work. Okay, I tried my best. I was not able to make that one come to light here. All right, unfortunately, I don't even have good cards for the matchup because my opponent's playing white, which means they have a main Caracas. Oh, actually, he does not have a main Caracas, so I will bring in some Shieldreds. I'll likely bring in some Shieldreds and then take out Shieldreds if we play game 3, just because I want him to be forced to play some Swords to Plowshares in his deck. Dress down looks good too. And then Vamp, Mystical, Chain, Daze. Yeah. Maybe Daze is fine. Dark Ritual. Normally I'd like to take out an island, but they're a wasteland deck, so I can't really do that. I guess I'm just gonna do this again. I don't like the fact that I want to take out Dark Ritual, but I can't because of Shio. Just don't like that mapping very much. I'll have to think about it some more. I don't think this mapping is very good. Technically a turn 1 win, so this resolves. It's probe into Lotus, Lotus into Ponder, Ponder into Ancestral, and Ancestral into Sapphire Oracle. Okay. I mean, what do you want me to do? Like waiting doesn't help. Like I just cast the thing and hope it works. Like this matchup is really bad. Like now my opponent's gonna stop me from being able to like efficiently cantrip into a next spell because they have an Orcish Bowmaster and they have a second force. Like the matchup is like legitimately unplayably bad. Need to bring back Vexing Bobble. What are we gonna do here? Like my hand was good. I had a turn 1 kill, but like the fact that my deck is not good against like 8 Force of Will deck is just gonna be the case, isn't it? Like what? How can I make it better? Like maybe I can play some Duresses. Maybe I can play some Defense Grids or something. But like you have to play a bunch of bad cards to make your deck good against this is probably not what you want to do. How do I want to proceed? I still have game to be played here. Am I just cantripping into this Bowmaster? Like, how am I really beating a negation and a Flusterstorm follow-up here? What do we want to do? Currently, nothing. Currently, nothing. I saw, Golos used to be good against this deck, but then they restricted Saga. There was a bunch of decks that were okay against it, but then they restricted them all. So, don't know. I think I need a cantrip because this Demonic Tutor needs to find an AB combo piece, and I don't have any in my hand yet. Like, is this what we want? Do I want this in my life? Like, I think I need this force, but I'm not really beating a Flusterstorm. Yeah, but no one's playing the Dimir version. Everyone's playing Esper, so Oath is no longer good. The Dimir version could have always been Esper to beat Oath. It just chose not to be for some reason. I don't know why. Because Mog didn't like it, I guess. And people just copy Mog. I just don't know if this Force of Will is like enough to get me there. Like, don't I need like multiple pieces of action instead? I don't know. Like, the Oath deck is definitely not good against Esper Lurrus. They play 4 Containment Priests, Swords of Plowshares, Caracas, 8 counter spells. Like, it's not good. I think this force was bad because what I can do is I could like play Demonic Tutor with 3 mana and then counter one part of the Flusterstorm and pay for the other part. So I think keeping this Force of Will was just bad. Must have missed the Underground Sea. Wonder if I accidentally got rid of a different card then. Street Wraith. Nope. Starting with a Mox, though, is pretty brutal for me. I don't know. I signed up for this tournament knowing I could pair it into this horrible matchup with my deck. That's part of Magic. I didn't want to play the Esper deck because I don't really enjoy it, and so I've queued up the best combo deck, and then the best combo deck is bad against the best control deck. So don't know. Yeah, I should never have kept this Force of Will. It was a horrible play. It's my fault. Sorry. It's just a dead card. I should have seen this sequence coming with the Flusterstorm Mental Misstep Pay, and I just missed it. I mean, it can. It hasn't. It's had Mox and draws. I really wish I hadn't done this. Maybe I'll draw a blue card here, and it'll be great. But all right, can Shieldred save the matchup? They have negation too, man. Maybe they don't have a blue card. How am I ever supposed to win? Oh, okay. Maybe I'll draw the second one. Like, I kind of like, I put myself in a pretty good spot in this game, actually, with that Shieldred, but they kept in the swords like they were supposed to, and it all worked out. There's my shield. Is it enough? I take 1, I go to 6, and then I go to 2. Yeah, then I get Lurrus. Okay. Oh. You got it. Oh wait, I just die through the shield. I just die anyways because they have too many attackers. That's pretty funny. I could have Gush, theoretically, but they just attack all and kill me. I don't know. I didn't really have chances. Like I had a good hand. My opponent's hand was just really good against mine. It's kind of hard to beat like 7 forces, Flusterstorm, Moxen, Efficient Beater. What am I supposed to do? I mean, I'm sure I could have played slightly better. I just don't know if it would have mattered. All right, here we go. Round 3. I need to win all 8. What is this? How many round? 8 round tournament? Is this a 7-round tournament? Because we didn't make it to 129. I need to win all the remaining rounds, so doesn't matter. This hand doesn't have mana. This hand has Oracle Consult and Time Walk to get us a turn faster. Okay. I think this is viable. It's not the best hand, but it's viable. Put this chain away. All right, my opponent kept 6, no Lurrus. Opponent has some range, if I remember correctly. So, not sure what we'll see from the other side here. Definitely don't want to see Grief. Grief would be a problem. Oh, no! I swear, chat. All right, fair enough. Oh, they pitched Demonic Tutor, though. So it's Scam, not Dredge. Okay, that's okay, then. We can play this game out from this spot if it's Scam instead. If it was Dredge, I think we'd probably be dead. Oh, cool. That's pretty sweet. We got scammed. I'm just going to take this console, leave me with Oracle, and I got not a lot going on. But the good news is my opponent only has 2 cards left in their hand. And I have Magic the Gathering cards, so... what I'm going to do is fetch a basic island on their turn and cast Ancestral. Just to play around negation, which is definitely possible from them. I mean, you play the good card. You register the good cards to draw the good cards. Obviously, this, like, Ancestry on their upkeep like, exposes me to a secondary Grief stuff happening, but I think that's okay. Okay, maybe it's not okay. I mean, I think it's okay. Look at that. We had cantrip, but we're going to be fine. I didn't think they were going to play Thoughtseize, though, so that's, I guess, a little less good for me. Dig through time. Hey, what do you know? Let's cast Ponder. I have a lot of time here. Oracle Consult Fluster. Sorry, not Oracle Consult. Oracle Demonic Fluster. I'm not really sure that these are the cards I want. Like, I guess Demonic is good, but... I don't know. I don't have, like, that much mana, right? Maybe it's fine. I gotta win on the same turn, so I don't get, like... that's definitely getting flustered. Oh, yeah. You are not allowed to look at cards here, friendo. You have a... you've bought back this Grief. You must live with it. So the question now is... are we casting Cruise, or are we DTing... maybe we just DT for a Doomsday and Slam here. We go to what? 6? We die to a Time Walk? I'd like to win in the same turn. So... I'm kind of interested in just digging. Maybe like, you could obviously go DT Dark Ritual Doomsday, but you can't break into the pile on the same turn, which puts us at 6 life. So if my opponent has casts a Time Walk, they kill us, which seems unnecessary, like an unnecessary risk. I'm just gonna pass and play Dig. I'm like almost assuredly winning on the next turn, depending on what they do here. I don't want to like the other thing is I don't really want to exile like Ancestral and Time Walk. This can be pretty key to my piles. What do you got for us? Frog. Okay, yeah. So as long as we can win on this turn, we should play around Days is the only thing we need to play around from this spot. Oh, I probably won't bring in Leyline, no. I need to get rid of 5 cards. No problem. And then we're just looking for, yeah. I'm at 5. I'm at 10. I go to 5. I go to 3. So we can just do Doomsday Street Wraith. That's fine. Okay. Let me just go make a quick scam check on Counter Magic. There isn't even a Daze in the normal list, but Daze is like the only thing I'm really interested in playing around at this point. So, hey, wow. Dark Ritual. Doomsday. Can't I mean, I can play around Trap technically by just having multiple things happen. I don't know if it's like worth it too. Let's see. I think. Do you have a land drop? I mean, I don't think it matters is the problem, but we should just build like super redundancy. So just like Time Walk, Lotus, Oracle. So if I go Ancestral, I guess I don't need Time Walk. So I go Gush, Lotus, Ancestral, Double Oracle, Force. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Ancestral and Gush down to go to 5, Gush down to 3, Ancestral, land, Lotus. Yeah, I mean this is fine. Something like this. I have to remind myself not to just like overthink these stupid piles that don't matter, because I do that from time to time. Super combo. Cool. I think this matchup is fine for Doomsday, but it's definitely a reasonable one for Scam. Like, they have a lot of nice tools. If I had an top deck Ancestral in this game, it would have been very hard, right? But the nice part about Doomsday is you have a ton of cantrips, so. Soul Ren, Hercules, Dress Down. I gotta be worried about Dress Downs and Wastelands. I don't think I'm bringing in Shieldred, even though Shieldred's really good here. I don't really want my Shieldred to be reanimated is my problem. I think it's too risky. Do I want access to counter spell to removal for Frog? I don't really know if I do. I think just playing one chain is more than enough here. I don't even like negation or trap particularly. I'm not even sure I'm gonna make changes to my deck. I actually really like the top deck tutors, and this is like one of the few blue matchups where I like top deck tutors because you can just top deck tutor in response to a grief. I guess this Necro looks a little bad here. So instead of playing Necro, we'll play a Long Goodbye, which answers exactly Frog, but uncounterably. It's actually probably worse than like a Dress Down. Dress Down's a little bit more utility. Maybe Fatal Push because it hits a grief. I don't know. Like, I feel like those are all like justifiable, but none of them excite me in any reasonable way. I do like Daze because of Wasteland and because they're usually constrained on mana pretty heavily. I don't know if it matters too much. Let's play a push because it hits Grief and Frog. And we'll just go like that. I don't know. Like, also, like, it's weird because Necro is actually not that terrible if they don't have a creature because it lets you rebuild. Maybe I'll bring Necro back in on the play. I don't know. Typically, I don't really like Necro against decks that are trying to attack me, but this might be an exception. But if they play like turn 1 Grief, then I would like almost never want a Necro. So Good news here is we're actually reanimate proof. They can take out Forest, and then we can still be able to. Maybe not proof, but we're at least nice in a nice spot for it. I kind of like the scam deck. I might work on it some more in the coming weeks. That's a hell of a draw. No reason to jam this now. What do they have for counter magic? Spell Pierce? Flusterstorm? Yeah. Entomb. It's okay. I don't think we're supposed to fight over the Entomb. It's not like they have a million ways to reanimate. They only have 4. I mean, they know our hand minus Doomsday. We can have as many as 2 forces if we Street Wraith into a force. What we can actually do is we can fetch for an Undercity Sewers and look at our top card and bin it and then Street Wraith. So we have like pretty good options of being able to counter reanimate from here. 4 unknown cards in hand. And then if we don't Street Wraith, we can win on the next turn. Force of their own. All right. I am going to do the thing to like try to make sure I can find a blue card. Plays into Daze possibility, but I think that's okay. Blue card is on top. Top. Just need to draw a cantrip next turn to still win. I guess if they have double counterspell, like if they have a Flusterstorm or Spell Pierce at the end of this, it's pretty bad for me, but... Okay, so now I just a cantrip wins. Time Walk does not actually count here. I still would like... I have a high probability of drawing into a cantrip, so I'm going to Time Walk. No cantrip. Okay, so past the term Doomsday Pile, the question will be, do I want to fit a land into my Doomsday Pile or fetch first? My pile is going to be like Ancestral, Gush, Street Wraith, Oracle, so probably just fetch now. I guess I don't have to technically don't have to Dark Ritual. What does that play around? Like I don't think they have a Daze, and I don't think they have a Flusterstorm, and I don't think they have a Spell Pierce, so don't think I need to. Yeah, so I just want a redundant pile here. Something like Ancestral, Time Walk, Oracle, Street Wraith or something. Do I want extra mana? I guess this plays into... Because I could still do Gush and do Lotus things. I'm like kind of worried about like a random Null Rod or something though. And I think I'd rather have double Oracle. I have to be able to play around Dress Down as well. If I draw an Ancestral, I can still Oracle and then Oracle again. If my Ancestral is countered, then Time Walk needs to make sure I get to the next spell. It's probably not Time Walk then. It's probably Gush. It's probably Ancestral, Gush, Oracle, and then an additional land. Obviously, if the Ancestral resolves, we don't care. But if the Ancestral doesn't resolve on the next turn, Gush resolving seems better. It's something like that. There's probably some optimizations to be made here. But, yeah. This is good enough for me. I mean, I've seen the recent list that people are playing in Scam, and they have dress downs. They didn't adapt. They still have like dress downs and null rods and stuff. I guess this pile loses to Ancestral. So that was a problem with this pile. So this pile needed to have a Flusterstorm in it. That was, so I could have gone Ancestral Gush, Oracle Fluster, Oracle, maybe? Yeah, that was a mistake. I knew there was something I was missing. I just forgot to build my pile redundant against Ancestral Recall, targeting me. Okay, hopefully I don't get punished for it, but that was a big, that's a big one. It's definitely a common one. Is this gonna be a dress down? Okay. I did not build a good pile there. I didn't get punished because a lot of times you don't get punished, but could easily be a loss there based on the way I build a pile. So I would instead go Ancestral Gush. I still want like double still want redundancy. So like Ancestral Gush or Ancestral Time Walk or Gush Time Walk, Gush, some combination of those two. And then I definitely want double Oracle. I want to be able to play through a dress down and by going to the next turn and playing another Oracle. I didn't have enough blue cards for Force, so I guess it like has to be Flusterstorm, even though I have a ton of mana. Well, I mean, there are other things that Fluster beats, right? Like, not just that. And theoretically, we can up the count for Flusterstorm with things like Dark Ritual. Like, if I go Ancestral, they go Ancestral. We can go Dark Ritual Fluster. Like, it should be always be fine. Because you like let their Ancestral resolve, and then you Fluster your own Ancestral. You don't have to Fluster their Ancestral. You can Fluster your Ancestral. But then if like they let your Ancestral resolve, and then they Ancestral you, then you can go Dark Ritual Ancestral, but you're playing more spells, so it should be fine. But yeah, bad pile. Bad pile. We're here to stream and play Magic, not talk about theoretical formats. Sand has some problems, but nope, they're the best looking Doomsday art, and you can be wrong. It's okay. It's the best art. All right, so another Lurrus matchup. This one's going to be challenging again. We'll see if we can sneak one by. Another Mox opener from the Lurrus player. Could play a turn 1 Lavinia here. Gonna need to cantrip into lands. Good news is they don't have turn 1 Bowmaster, though. Oh, we're not gonna cantrip into lands? Okay. At least we didn't get wastelanded. That would have been bad. Probably tempo this frog with a chain if we can hit a land drop here. Sweet. Cast a Ponder. Consult, Fluster, Mystical. Kind of hate all of these. I guess like theoretically we could consult for a Doomsday. Sorry, a Dark Ritual. And then we've got Force backup on a Dark Ritual Doomsday Wraith. And they've already used a Spell Pierce. Yeah, it's probably fine. Does that mean we're not casting chain? I really like the idea of chaining here, though. I mean, every turn that we don't combo is bad because our opponent just ekes out extreme advantages. So the problem here, though, is if they have like a Flusterstorm, our plan does not really work. This matchup is really, really rough because if like we don't actually outgrind better than they do. I mean, I had a Fluster on top, unfortunately, but okay. Let's see what we draw. Another force. I feel like I'm just going for it. Just have to hope they don't have Fluster. Yeah, but then we lose a card off the top. I think Mystical is just like way too slow. Opponent is, I mean, if they have mental misstep, it's so bad for me. We lost nothing. They have Fluster. This matchup is just so unplayable. I don't know how to fix it. If I hit a land, I want to preordain here. Do I want to preordain here? Yeah, I feel like I still want to preordain here. Okay. I mean, even in that spot, like, I didn't have the mana to play. I thought these are dress first anyways. I just don't feel like Band-Aid solution Thoughtseize Duress like actually solves the problem. Like maybe it gets you some extra percentage points. I mean, it definitely gets you some extra percentage points, but like it's not enough to solve the problem. Yeah, well, we're not all discovering. Can my opponent just one-shot me with a frog if I Doomsday past the turn pile? Depends on what they do. Possible though. Like if they just buy Lurrus and I went for a Doomsday past the turn pile, they could just pitch all their cards to frog and kill me. This card is a big problem for Doomsday. It's a huge issue. Yep. I can't Doomsday past the turn, so I just have to what? Hope I draw a land next turn and play Ponder Doomsday. But then they draw an extra 2 cards, maybe an extra 3 cards with a bobble. Like it's just not a sustainable option. But I don't have any other choices here. Like, I couldn't counter this frog because I need to try to win with my forcible back up on the turn that I went for it, which is the reason I didn't counter the frog. It just happened that the counter spell that they had was Flusterstorm, which could not be forced. So. Like if it was a pierce or a negation or a force of will, then my plan would have worked. But because it was exactly the Flusterstorm, the one of Flusterstorm, then it just doesn't work. We're gonna die. guess to pitch all the swords to plowshares, huh? I mean, they're always going to have enough damage. They're just always going to have enough damage. So, like, I have to win on the same turn. There's no pass the turn pile, so. I just have to hope they haven't drawn counter magic. I draw a land, and I go Doomsday Ponder with force backup, and that's enough. This matchup is just too bad. Maybe I'm not allowed to register Doomsday for this tournament, actually. But like, if I can't play Doomsday, what am I playing? Like, there's just no decks that I want to play. Like, I don't want to play the control mirror. Like, so like, what am I supposed to do? The format is just too narrow right now. All right. Hopes and a prayer. No, Oath is terrible into this deck. This deck will destroy Oath. Oath is good against the Dredge deck, but any deck can be good against the Dredge deck. This is like a gush, some kind of gush pile. No, we just said we're not talking about restrictions. We're talking about Magic the Gathering. God damn it. I can't, man. I just can't. I can't with you today, Chant. Gosh. I don't love control mirrors. Everybody likes Magic differently. I want to play a combo deck. That's what I enjoy. Okay, so this is just going to be Gush. I've already played my land drop. So Ponder down to 4, Gush down to 2. I'm going to 5. So do we play around a Street Wraith? Can we finish the game first, chat? I'm gonna finish the game first. Play around a Street Wraith. So I'm gushing. So I am going to 5, and then I'm gushing. Sorry, Ponder down to 4 cards, Gush down to 2 cards. I want to play around like a third Swords of Plowshares. I think it's the only card I can reasonably try to play around. If I'm going to 5, I mean, I can't beat a Bowmaster if I do that line, right? So if I go to 5 and I go to 4, I go to 3, I go to 2, I go to 1. So just the Gush Lotus Oracle pile beats Bowmaster. And so I can't build the pile to also beat Swords because I'd have to fit in Street Wraiths. Unless we instead go Gush, Lotus, Time Walk. Where's Time Walk? If we go Gush, Lotus, Time Walk, and then we lose 2 lands, and then we play Oracle plus another cantrip, but then that cantrip loses the Bowmaster, right? Let's check again. I'm at 5. I get Bowmaster to 4, Gush to 2, Ponder to 1, so I can't put another cantrip in there, so that also still just loses the Bowmaster. So it's, do I want to play around Swords or Bowmaster? Unless there's another way. There's like no other way to get through an additional card because of the, like, Time Walk is the way to get through without drawing and without fetching. Okay, so do I want to lose to Bowmaster or to Swords? I would rather lose to Swords because they pitched 2 swords already in this game. Yeah, but I can't draw enough cards for that. Yeah, but I won't. I have to Gush. I won't have enough mana, right? Let me just look one more time. Gushing, 2 cards, 3 cards. On the next turn, I'll only have 3 mana, so I have to Time Walk. Yeah. No, if you put a Ponder in that pile, then you lose to Bow. You lose to Bowmaster. There might be a pile that beats both, but I can't find it, so I'm just going to take the pile, the easiest pile, and go from there. Am I going to go for the time walk in here? Does that actually help me in any way? I guess so. No, that would be drawing 4 cards because I have to ponder to break into the pile, gush to break into to actually get card advantage, and then the second ponder would kill me. I don't think I have the mana for DT for walk, but DT for walk is definitely the best suggestion. But I might be miscounting mana. It's obviously possible. But I only have 3 mana after Lotus here, so I only have 1, so I can't DT for walk. I have to just cast walk. And then if I go to my next turn, I'll have lost 2 lands, so I'll have 3 mana, so I can't DT for time walk, or DT for the... I guess I could DT for a Sapphire there. Okay. So it's Bowmaster, so we should beat that. And this is an example of when Bowmaster is not good enough. I think most of the time, the best use case for Bowmaster is actually just when you've countered a Doomsday and they need a cantrip to get back into the game. Most of the time in a Doomsday pile, the Bowmaster is not going to be good enough. That's a very important win. That is a very, very important win for this set. This matchup is so hard. Sneaking a win there is great. Fatal Push, Long Goodbye. I like Dress Down. I don't like Vamp, Mystical, Necro. Daze on the draw, I don't like that much, but might stay. Unfortunately, my opponent is playing the white version of the deck, which means they have Caracas, so I can't really bring in Shieldred. I might bring in a Shieldred just to make them try to play some Swords to Plowshares. It's worth a consideration. Don't like Chain here very much. I would rather have these things. So we're going to go like this. I'd like them to possibly see Shieldred in this game, so if we do go to a game 3, I can board the Shieldreds back out. On the play, we can do something like board the 2 Shieldreds out and put the Necro and the Daze back in. That's something that resonates with me here. It's just unfortunate that Shieldred is not as good as it was against the previous best version of Lurrus, which was a blue-black deck that did not deal with Shieldred very well. This blue-white Esper version sometimes leads in Swords, has Caracas in the main. It's kind of a problem for the Shieldred backup plan. So normally I'd like to hold Ancestral to a point that makes sense, but a lot of times here you have to just jam Ancestral because of Bowmaster. We'll see what happens though. Interesting. Technically, this is a turn 1 win if they have absolutely 0 counter spells, but they kept the card on top with Bauble, which suggests they do have counter spells. Because our theoretical turn 1 win here is Dark Ritual with Doomsday, probe into Lotus, Ancestral, Oracle win. I don't think you're allowed to go for that though. It's probably just best to get the full information of a probe and then move from there. There are still chances that they had nothing that we can still win, but I think I just want to know the information on what I'm supposed to be playing around. So they have Negation, Consigned to Memory, Wasteland, Strip Mine, Flusterstorm. Unbelievable. I'm glad we restricted Saga and not the Wastelands. All right, so we actually still have a turn 1 win here if the opponent had actual 0 interaction. Instead, they have double interaction. So what do we want to do? Unfortunately, no matter what land we play, we get wastelanded out of this game. And there will be no opportunity for us to resolve a draw spell. Yeah, I don't know. How are we supposed to play out a game where we can't play lands and we can't resolve spells? I have no idea. So like I have options of like end of turn, go for ancestral. I have options of just like play my land, cast preordain, get wasteland, but they have so many wastelands. Like it's just impossibly bad. I don't know. I don't know the answer here. I haven't played this spot enough to know the answer. I'm just gonna cast my spells. It's really good against Consign, Flusterstorm Negation. If I play like... I feel like it's really good. So like they wasteland me here, I play a land pass. I can try to go like Dark Ritual, Shieldred instead. I mean, they could just counter the Dark Ritual, but... And they might. But that's probably a win for us anyways. Now I can't fetch and step Ancestral, unfortunately. They drew Black Lotus. So now they have hard cast negation. Okay. No. No. Consign doesn't hit fetches. Triggered abilities and colorless spells. That's an interesting draw, actually. I have to fetch this. I guess I don't if this Dark Ritual doesn't resolve. All depends on what my opponent chooses to do from this spot. Infinite Wastelands. More fun than Infinite Sagas? Resolves. That's really good for me. I just have to hope they didn't draw Force. Yeah. They drew Force of Will! Oh, shit. Yeah. No point in Street Wraithing. So then I lose both my lands. Awesome. I love Wasteland. Their hand is Negation Flusterstorm, so I'm I'm not trying to force here. They drew another Wasteland. Yeah, like. Why is this a thing in Magic? That's what I want to know. Why are we doing this? Oh my god. Yeah, I guess we could have raced for Gush. I'm just too tilted, obviously. I should have probably like they could have had Bowmaster too. How is the qualifier? It's really bad. It's really bad. Then eventually my opponent just plays their land drops and plays the Lurrus, and I lose. Sweet. I'm glad this was a fun and enjoyable time. We had a chance in this game. We just needed our opponent not to draw the Force of Will that they drew. No. Bobble stops Oh my god. This is a timeout worthy. This is a timeout. Timeout. I'm losing my mind today. It's not like Bobble at all. Then they jam a Lurrus and they draw a card every turn. But yeah, I mean, like, Wasteland, totally fine. We're passing? We're just holding up the negation and the flusters and stuff? It just doesn't matter, though. Like, it just doesn't matter, though. It just doesn't matter, though. Very fun. Okay. So I show them the Shield Druids. I'm going to take the Shield Druids back out, and I'm going to run Daze Necro. And we're going to go back to Jam. There was a chance for us to win that game, honestly. We like the shield, like they didn't counter the Dark Ritual, because they weren't expecting Shieldred, so they let the Dark Ritual resolve. So honestly, if the Shieldred had resolved, there was a pretty okay chance of playing that game. But I guess we wouldn't have drawn any lands for the rest of the game, and we would have just gotten double wastelanded anyways. But maybe it would have been enough. Depends on what they draw. How am I finding Doomsday? I mean, the deck is incredibly good against every deck that's not Lurrus, and it's very bad against Lurrus. But the Doomsday deck is pretty fun, so it's nice. This looks like a keepable hand. It's also a turn 1 win if I probe into a Dark Ritual. Pierce, Brainstorm, Frog. Yeah, so we had a win here if we had a Dark Ritual. They just kept a no force hand, huh? Interesting. Should we still Street Wraith? Because if I can resolve a Doomsday right now. Palladian into Lotus doesn't win though. Oh, I guess it might win with the Demonic Tutor actually. I'd have to think. I mean, we're definitely casting spells. It's just not trying to figure out which one I want to cast. When Magic Online lets me. I need black mana. Flusterstorm Island. Yeah, we want those. Okay. We have to play a little bit of a longer game, though. And their hand's pretty set up for a longer game. I was hoping to try to jam an early Doomsday in this game. I guess we could still do it next turn, but they're going to hold up Spell Pierce. I guess if it's just Spell Pierce, we could theoretically just do it, right? We could just go DT, Lotus, Doomsday, Gush, Street Wraith with Force backup. It's probably worth it. They're only going to draw 2 cards that we don't know about. They're debating whether to look at my top card because I kept top. So, like, what's the likelihood with 2 draw steps that they draw a force? 7 or 8 forces in 54 cards or something? I kind of like it. Just Mnemonic, Lotus, Doomsday, Street Wraith, Gush, Oracle Consult. Sorry, Oracle Lotus, win. Yeah, I'm going to go for it. They have to draw a second counterspell right there with their 2 draw steps. And they fetched away, didn't they? And they fetched away. Okay, yeah, I'm going to go for it. Are we spell piercing this? Okay, sure. Let's just do it. We have like decent backup plan with Dig Through Time. No, my opponent's deck is the best deck, but my deck is the best combo deck, so. Looks like we win. I mean, we can definitely beat the opponent's deck. It's just a bad matchup. Gush, Lotus, Oracle, and then there's no reason. I just want a redundancy. The best way to play redundancy from this spot would be I play a land drop. I play Oracle. So it's just like another Oracle and another land probably. No, not another land. Sapphire. Probably, yeah. So I'm going for Gush into Lotus Oracle, and then I play Sapphire Oracle. It doesn't actually speed me up, but it lets me hold a land drop and then play at the same time through a wasteland. So that looks like it's it. Done. And then the bottom of the pile is second Oracle, Sapphire, Oracle, Lotus, Gush, Street Wraith. Gosh. Might die to Frog before then if they had something after all this. Lotus. Oracle. We finally got like a hand that was like a bit underpowered from them. That's a huge win. Big win. Sweet. I like that game. All right. Round 5, Vintage Qualifier. Gotta keep winning. We're up against a very powerful Control Wizard, Unlucky Monkey, who always plays his own version of Lurrus, typically with Ragavans and Questing Druids and just lots of cool things. So, should be interesting. This hand looks good. Just need to find another land, and we'll jam it on turn 2 for the win. But yeah, one of the things about Unlucky Monkey style decks is no Flusterstorms and Spell Pierces in the main, and also that's at this point no negations in the main, so just a bunch of Force of Wills. So we're just looking for a fetch land here, basically. Preordained into a fetch land. Oh wait, I don't have a Dark Ritual. Never mind. I thought we had a Dark Ritual. We don't have a Dark Ritual. That means we have multiple cards we need. It's okay. This Preordain will show us fetch land, Dark Ritual, and we'll do it on turn 2. Consult Dig. Nope. Neither of those. Fetch land. That's a start. Now we just need the Dark Ritual. Okay. Any Ragavans? Tamios? Ragavan Gaming. Yeah. I think that's fine. Another Street Wraith. Yeah. Treasure Cruise. Okay. All right. What are you gonna hit? Ragavan, the Pilferer. It was a Misty Rainforest. I am playing not playing Preordain to hold it for Force of Will. I would rather not pitch my Treasure Cruise to Force of Will. Hey, there's my Dark Ritual. All right, got double counterspell. This is just gonna be Street Wraith into Gush. We do need to beat Swords here. So we're gonna play Street Wraith down to 4, Gush down to 2. I'm gonna be at 7, and then I'm gonna be at 5, and then I could just do double Street Wraith to get to 0 if I wanted to. I could also just not use the Lotus, because I technically can gush back my island and then do it again that way. But if I use the Lotus, I can just use a Preordain that's in my hand. So let's see. I'm going to have 4 mana after I go Street Wraith Gush down to 2 cards in my hand. So I just need to put an additional Preordain in the pile. Or a Probe or something. I guess we'll put a Probe in the pile. Please? Magic Online is frozen for me, I guess. Probably don't need another Oracle. So I Street Wraith down to 5, and I gush into Lotus Probe. And then I still have a Preordain I can use. I don't feel like the second Oracle is any good. So is there like any reason to do a Daze or something? Probably not, because I have to play both my lands anyway. Well, I get some replay my land. I guess I can put a Time Walk in case something goes wrong. No, I mean, I don't even need to. I have like the Preordain as well. But yeah, I could play the Sewers instead as well. Like, there's a lot of choices here. Whatever. I'm over it. My opponent has double force. Like, it's a pretty bad spot no matter what. Maybe I should have just put the second Oracle. But like, am I going to be able to win if I use all this stuff? Maybe. Yeah, I should not have put this Time Walk in the bottom here, because like, what am I doing with this Time Walk, really? Pretty silly. Oh well, I fucked up. It's fine. Well, they do have a force. That kind of means they probably have 2 forces, unfortunately. Or else I think they would have just countered Doomsday. So I think I'm going to lose this game because I didn't put the second Oracle in the... I mean, I was going to lose this game to Ragavan, I guess, so that's fine. Looks like they have double force. So they just let Doomsday resolve, so I would die. Damn. Unlucky. Oh, maybe they're kind of questing Druid into... Oh, it's a different deck list. This might be the Deathrite Shaman version. So they're going to cast the other part of questing Druid to try to hit force. So at this point, at 4 life, if I had built redundancy into this pile... Huh. Yeah, I needed to build a second Oracle into this pile. Damn, this is my own fault. I thought it didn't matter, and then... Ah, Ancestral. I don't think I was beating Ancestral no matter what. I don't think like, if it was just Ancestral, I had Force, but at Force and Ancestral, I don't think I was beating that. I would have had to have a counter spell in the first two. Okay. No, it seems kind of unlikely that I would build a pile that can beat Force and Ancestral. My pile alone didn't beat double Force, and Ancestral does kind of act like a Force from this spot. Yeah, I would have had to draw what? I would have had to draw... Gush would have had to draw me... Lotus Flusterstorm? She could have done that, I guess. So maybe I should have done that. So if my pile was Gush, Lotus, Fluster, then I preordained down to my Oracle. Yeah, that would have worked. Oh, I would think Fluster is better than Mental Misstep there. Okay, yeah. That was a mistake for sure. I actually don't think I need removal in this matchup based on my opponent's threats here. Just want to bring in some Shieldrids and then take out Mystical and Chain. Yeah, so I guess the pile to play around that specifically would have been Gush. Would have been Gush, Flusterstorm, because I had the cantrip in my hand, so I didn't have to put the cantrip into the pile. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, I mean that's a game Discover N would have won that I did not win. So always room to improve. The whole thing I was thinking about in that situation was just like trying to make sure I could beat Swords to Plowshares, but I did not play around Force Ancestral. But I guess Flusterstorm would have also beaten Swords, so I was like too focused on getting down to 0 cards instead. Definitely fetching here. I just wanted to see, I want to see if I want to brainstorm and put like a Doomsday on the top of my library. Or do I want to just like use a city under city sewers? I'd just rather brainstorm. See if I can build a better pile this time. I mean, it's the same type of pile again. It's going to be Gush, Lotus. Right? Gush, Lotus. I see. Okay, sorry. I was distracted. Gosh, Lotus. I mean, we don't have a lot of agency to play around Ragavan. Gosh, Lotus, Flusterstorm, Time Walk, Oracle, something like that. I'm not gonna threat over it too much. Oracle, Time Walk, Lotus, Flusterstorm, gosh. Street Wraith. Lotus. Okay. Wonder if Daze isn't very good because of Ragavan. I think it's probably fine. What is... I don't think so. Like, theoretically, this is my opponent's deck. I don't feel like I need to push any of these units. Creatures, sorry. Like, this might not be the actual deck. It could be the Deathrite Shaman one, so that would be slightly different. But it's like... It's Deathrite Shamans. Like, I don't think I need them. I really like push against, you know, the I don't know. I guess I just maybe I don't value Ragavan the same way as I value Frog. I saw Underground Sea, so maybe it's more like this deck. Ragavan, Deathrite Shaman, Cameo, Fatal Push, Pyroblast, maybe. I don't know. You like push here? I don't really see. I'm not really seeing it. Like, I definitely don't like Mystical, but Vampiric is still fine. Maybe it's better than Days on the Draw, but I don't know. Possible. Okay, try one more time here. See what we can do. Definitely being on the draw here is a little sketchy. Opponent does still play a bobble, interestingly, which makes this hand a little worse. I don't know. I still have a Street Wraith, right? I'm gonna keep this hand. I don't mind this hand. Obviously, there's some risk inherent in this hand, but it's really good with It's really good with Time Walk and Consult Oracle combo. Oh, jeez. Okay. Ooh, we're gonna get a Pyroblast on this Ponder. It's quite nice. It's very nice. We still have a lot of good tools here, but I'm interested to see how this game pans out. We have a lot of action in our hand. And Unlucky Monkey keeps pretty wide. Okay, interesting. Keeps pretty wide hands. His range is quite substantial in terms of what he keeps. Ragavan's quite good here, though. Probe. Okay, I want to see what you're working with. Is it another Pyro? Feels like another Pyro. Brings in up to 3 negations, which is another thing to consider as well. Interesting. Negation, will, wasteland. Okay. How many spells can he afford to force here? Probably not this one, but interesting. Negation pitching, force of will. Might be able to play Treasure Cruise next turn. That might be why. Let's see. Fetch land, 4 cards. Ragavan, 3, 7. Not exact 8. Okay, so just enough to play Treasure Cruise. Interesting. Very cool play. Just enough to play Cruise. 4, 7, 8. Yeah. So plays Wasteland as a land. Ragavan hits as a treasure and then has exactly 8 to Cruise. Still pretty aggressive play, all things considered. Had a force and a negation and chose to use them for tempo. Hit my land on the top. Yeah. And a jet. Oh, no, maybe it was my jet. Trying to figure that out. I can't tell. Cruise. Keeps treasure open because, okay, it is my jet. Hit my jet is really strong there. All right, well, I'm going to cast Ancestral Recall and make you have to have drawn it. They drew it. That's so bad for me. Okay. I mean, hitting Jet there was crazy good for them because they didn't have to use all their mana to cast Cruise. Still winnable game. Have some amount of time here. Why can't I never tell what it hit? Necropotence. Okay. That's a lot of lands. 2 cards in hand. You can buy and play Lurrus. Oh, just plays the Necro off of Jet Underground. Oh, wild game. Wild game. Damn. That's gonna be a game lost there for sure. That's crazy. That's so crazy. Man, Ragavan's is such a cool card sometimes. Monkey did win him this game for sure. Agreed. This jet hit was actually just crazy good. because it let them have the Pyroblast mana open. I'd like to see what we draw for those 3 cards, because there's a lot of draws that win us the game. That was not one of them, though. We kind of drew a little awkwardly in this game. Seek the Beast. Love it. I can't never tell what's in the exile. I don't know. Something's in exile, clearly. This thing is in exile? What else is in exile? Demonic Wasteland? Maybe? I'm lost, man. I'm super lost. I have no idea where anything is. Why is this the only card in exile? Shouldn't... Are these also in exile? I think it's Demonic Wasteland that went to exile. Misty Street Wraith. No, the game log doesn't say. I mean, what we have to do is draw the fetch land, let them hit a Street Wraith, and then play our Demonic Consult combo, probably. Like, I could technically go for a Doomsday here, but I go to 5. There's like a Ragavan. It's just like way too risky. So I'm just going to do this and play this and let my opponent hit me, steal a Street Wraith, and then hope that Consult resolves. But that's like the only thing we can really do. Oh, they might Wasteland me, make me get the island. That'd be pretty good. They want to play a Street Wraith off of the Ragavan. That's fine. They have Time Walk. Does that kill me here? So we would have died if we went Doomsday. Are they going to play the Street Wraith? Do it. Do it. Play the Street Wraith. Oh, shit. Oh, actually, we're just going to die to the Questing Druid. Damn. Okay, you're right. Damn. So cool. This game was really cool. I can't be mad about this one. Oh, they're casting the Demonic Tutor that they had off the Questing Druid. Man, this deck is so sick. When Unlucky Monkey's deck works, it is so cool. It's just so sweet. Oh, there's a Psychic Frog. I was about to say, like, at what point does Unlucky Monkey play Psychic Frog? This is a very Unlucky Monkey card. Definitely, it's like an upgraded Ragavan, you know? I love this stuff. I love Questing Druid specifically. I think Quest of Druid is like the sweetest card. Wow. All right, so we lose. But we're not done yet. Unlucky Monkey did message me in the middle of the game 1, and I didn't understand. But I believe we've been paired down to Unlucky Monkey, and he's going to probably concede. We'll see if that actually happens or not, but it's likely we get lucky here with the Lucky Monkey and get to continue on forward. GG's. So, although we did not beat Unlucky Monkey, we are lucky to have been paired down into an opponent who's willing to concede. So thank you to them, and we get to play more Magic. All right. We are 4-1-ish asterisks now. Moving into round 6 of 7. We need 2 more wins to top 8. We are against Discoveran in another pair down matchup. Probably playing a Doomsday Mirror versus the best Doomsday player on the platform. Can't say I'm the most excited, but we can do it. I believe in us. I'm interested in getting a Preordain here to make sure I hit my land drop. And then We can go from there. Do I want a ponder as well? Don't see why not. I guess it's just a top angle. It doesn't matter which way we top. All right, can I beat the best player in the platform at a Doomsday mirror? Let's find out. Have a flusterstorm, will travel. Mental misstep is obvious. Am I getting turn one? am I just getting turn one for not holding open flusterstorm? I have to cast Preordain there. I can't not cast Preordain there. Please don't turn one me. Discoverin. Please. There's no way I'm supposed to hold up Flusterstorm, right? Like I'm making the correct play, right? Like I have to cast Preordain there. Mental misstep should be pretty good from this spot though. Like if they just goes Doomsday, we can mental misstep. Yeah, I'm just gonna mental misstep this. Okay. We lived another time. Oh, maybe that was a show of weakness, but fetch, preordain, treasure cruise. I feel like I just keep these and we just like fetch away the cruise. We're just like trying to play out a little grindy game. Shouldn't die from this spot, I would think, with Flusterstorm up. Oh, don't we want to cast Dig? Like hold up Flusterstorm and Dig? Like, we're not going to be able to cast both Delve spells in this game, are we? Guess it's possible. I guess if my opponent goes land Doomsday here, Flusterstorm doesn't counter it. Actually, I can go Dark Ritual Flusterstorm. No, I can't go Dark Ritual Flusterstorm. Damn, I don't know. Maybe I have to bottom one of these. Oh, I guess I can't bottom them. It's a ponder. But like my next turn, I'm just gonna play a fetch and pass. Hold open Fluster Dig. Yeah, but I'm already holding open like Flusterstorm, right? Dark Ritual. I don't know, I guess so. Demonic Tutor. He's gonna necro me. I mean, I don't have a choice here, right? Whatever. I mean, I've played this game like I have a Flusterstorm, so he's gonna go necro. What am I supposed to do, man? He's so good. All right. Only draw 4. Lotus is gone. That's something. I don't think I'm supposed to do that. 5 cards in yard. If I Flusterstorm, I have 6 cards in yard. I could always Street Wraith to get more cards in yard as well. I'm gonna hold everything up. Okay, we're drawing more cards. Drawing 1 card. We're supposed to cast this Dig, right? feel like we are. I want to use the Street Wraith. Clearly representing Flusterstorm at this point. Force. I mean, I just don't have a follow-up. Is my Flusterstorm good without a follow-up here? Or would I rather... Would I rather get 2 cards? I feel like it's better to use this when he has a clear read that I have it. Ancestral? Oh, Flusterstorm. Sure. Okay, I mean, I think that's fine. He only goes to 5 cards on this turn, at least, so... There's no combination. I guess a Doomsday is winning from this spot. Should we fetch? So, like, there's a thing I could do here where I could just start by fetching a Undercity Sewers, because I can still go Preordain into Doomsday, Dark Ritual Doomsday into Preordain again. I kind of like that idea. I don't know if that's actually, like, worthwhile, but... Probably correct to Time Walk. Well, what does Time Walk really do for us here? It resets our mana. Like, if we cast Preordain into Time Walk, we get to see 1 extra card, and then we lose out on our Preordain. Is that actually good? We, like, reset our mana, but I don't think our mana really matters, does it? But yeah, but, like, it makes our Preordain weaker, right? I feel like it's just a graveyard. Like, I just want to hit this. I just want this Preordain to hit Dark Doomsday right now. So I have to hold this Preordain, right? For like a future Doomsday. Damn. Maybe I don't. Maybe I can get away with not. Maybe I can get away with like casting Preordain there. But I also don't really want to get... Well, it's not the same cards. I see less cards with my Preordain. But he just also refills with Necro again. So like, is this not bad for me? Like the Preordain is technically a combo piece. I need a Doomsday and a cantrip. Eight cards in hand, eats life. Cruise. I mean, these cards are so bad. Just keep bottoming. Gush. Gush is good. Gush is good. I think we just cast Gush right now. And pick back the sewers. Console. Now I want my oracles back. So I kind of like the idea of like play sewers and then cruise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can keep my gush. I lose my time walk. Yeah, but there are 2 oracles in my deck. There are multiple oracles in my deck. I can't remember when I played the other oracle. I mean, I think I bottomed 2 oracles, but I don't remember if we shuffled or anything since then. Can't remember. Maybe they are both on the bottom. You think the win con is excuse me. Second. Stopping my necro opponent. Ugh. I'm gonna play Treasure Cruise here and try to find a force. Isn't it kind of shit that I have to bin this? I guess I don't have to bin this if I just decide to lose my Gush and my Time Walk. But I also don't get to cast this turn if I want to hold up Flusterstorm. Like right now, I can go console. I guess I have a Dark Ritual. I mean, I have to use this mana. I'm gonna just bin this. No, yeah. Like I want to be able to have Flusterstorm and like Consult Force in my hand. Do I want to draw a Demonic Tutor? I think that's a really hard choice. I don't really know the answer to that question. I think Gush should be better than Time Walk in my yard. I might have to discard a card to hand size here. Oh, they have negation. Yep. Uh-huh. So I'm holding open Fluster and also Consult Force. Gosh. Yeah. Frog? Shit. That's so bad for me. That's so bad for me. That is so bad for me. That ruins my whole line. That's so bad for me. Oh my god. That ruins like the whole thing we're playing towards. Maybe I was just supposed to console for a Doomsday there. Damn. Maybe I should just gone for it there. I don't know. It's like so unlikely though. Like maybe my best play is just Oracle Consult then. Just I'll shuffle that back into my deck. Ancestral. Do I want a mystical though? I don't think I want a mystical. I think I just want an ancestral. I have to cast it right now as well. I have like one turn, but they also get to draw a bunch more cards. Force. I don't have a lot of choices anymore. Yeah, I think I probably was supposed to consult for Doomsday. So I beat this with Ritual. Oh no, I guess if they put them all on the Ancestral Recall, I don't beat this with Ritual. Fuck, he's so good. It's most smart. I'm at 12. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't really beating Force Flusterstorm though to try to go for a Doomsday, which is why I didn't really want to do that. Like this game was always going to be hard with my opponent resolving Necro, but can draw like 3 more plus a frog hit. I mean, there's still like a world where I just draw Oracle and he has no more counter magic, but seems unlikely. Also, I don't have a win if I draw Doomsday at this point because I don't have a cantrip anymore in my hand. So I guess I could I'd have to like demonic for a cantrip. And then I guess I could do that. They kept the card with sewers on top? That's not good. That's not good. Axiom probe. I am dead no matter what to this frog, so I will probe and see if what they have. Oh, only a fluster. But I'm out of cards. Wow, I actually like had some chances here. So I just consult for an oracle and hope they're both in the bottom, right? Or is there like a better consult? I don't have a cantrip, so I can't consult into. If I had kept my probe and I had consulted Doomsday, would we might have been able to win the game actually. I might have just thrown the game because I just didn't stop for a 1 second and think. I had 5 mana. If I had gone consult for Doomsday, it's 2 spells. And if he Flusterstorms that, I could have Dark Ritualed and paid. Yeah, okay. So I could have won this game. Okay, my bad. Fucked it up. I just didn't think. Yeah. That's stupid, Justin. Really stupid. Well, I don't think DC for Chain is good, though. Like, they just replay the Frog and sack the Necro. I mean, he could have always waited, right? If he waits and pro, like, if Discover End plays correctly, it doesn't actually win because he can just wait, let Doomsday resolve, and then Flusterstorm my probe. So yeah, but isn't it better to consult for a just an Oracle on the bottom instead? Like, I don't think a chain actually wins the game. I was just gonna go consult for Oracle. Nah, 12 cards deep. So I definitely should have played that last turn differently. I should have made my opponent fluster at the correct time. Knowing Discover N, I believe he would Flusterstorm at the correct time, but I should have made him do it. So what I should have done is after drawing Probe, I should have Demonic Consultation for Doomsday, cast Doomsday, and then if my opponent Flusterstorms, I can actually pay with Dark Ritual. If they don't Flusterstorm and I cast Probe and then they Flusterstorm, I lose. But like, there's a world where I have, I don't know. Like, there's a world where my opponent makes that mistake. I have to let my opponent have the opportunity to make the mistake. Oh, man, this game was so hard. Game was very hard. I think it's just one frog, or who knows. Really brutal though. Right. I also have like the opportunity to like probe into Oracle Consult, but that's like not actually worth it. So Doomsday, Negation, Shieldred, Dress Down, Trap, and then a Fatal Push. Maybe a Long Goodbye as well. I mean, there were different things we could have done. Like, we were always at a disadvantage, but we could have had some more opportunities. No, I don't cut it yet. Yep, we got paired down to Discovering. Yeah. Tough game. The frog, the frog was like really, really good there because there was a legitimate chance that Discoverin wouldn't be able to put together an Oracle kill with the cards he drew off of Necro, but the frog saved that. I mean, how many? I've never seen Discover N scoop to anyone. So also, we've already been scooped to in this tournament. I don't need to just get scooped every round, but Discover N is not that kind of guy. Oh, that was a brutal game. It was a really brutal game. Discoverin won't even share his list with anyone. Discoverin's a different breed. You don't become the best player on the platform doing, best vintage player on the platform by doing that stuff. Pretty sure I'm just going to cast Ancestral on his upkeep here, and then see where this game takes us. Well then. This game is taking us. Why do we have so many payoffs? Is it enough though? Almost wish I had cast it on my turn so I could have gone Lotus Necro here. What are we gonna do? What are we going to do? Oh, double Moxen. 4 mana. Frog. DT. 3 cards plus DT card. Dark Ritual. Doomsday. 2 cards remaining. Wait, are we just dead? Are we just dead through force? Flusterstorm, Street Wraith, Gush? I don't know. You can't beat this guy. He's too good. I kept a force hand and I resolved an ancestral and I'm gonna lose horribly. What is this shit? Turn 2, fluster back up Doomsday, maybe on turn 1. I mean, I could have countered Time Walk, but I could have countered Demonic Tutor, but like I don't think any of those are right. All right, so say that Discover End does not have the nuts, and oh no, he built that pile so fast, we're dead. Hundo Percento has the 0 mana cantrip kill us here. Yep, has the Gush in hand. What am I supposed to do? He's the best. Oh my god. What the fuck? My bad. My hand was only Ancestral Force. I should have known it wasn't good enough. I can't even like complain. Like my hand was incredible. We're both now we both can't top 8 based and good. That's just crazy. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'm never countering Time Walk. I'm never countering any of the things before Doomsday. I feel like I played it correctly and I just died. Like, I'm never casting Ancestral there on my turn. Like, I played my game correctly and it just wasn't good enough, so... Like, definitely game 1 had more opportunities for us to have made better choices. But this game, like, we kept our nuts draw and it was trumped by our opponent's nuts draw. And this is a great example of don't cut your Moxen, people. Whoever asked for cutting Moxen. No. Mana is important. All right, 7th and final round of this vintage qualifying event. Just gonna get some good reps in versus some powerful wizards and see where we end up at the end. It won't be top 8 though. Not a problem. Happens to the best of us. It was very nice today. Tonight we played against no Dredge, which I'm a fan of. Last night I played against 5 Dredge players in 7 rounds, so it was a nice change of pace. Maybe it's because we've been losing, but... Ooh, this is an interesting one. So my opponent typically has played Oath, but it's a new format. Sapphire doesn't help cast Doomsday, but it does cast another Preordain right away. But, like, what are we trying to draw to from this spot? Like, we do technically want to hit more land drops. I guess, theoretically, keeping Sapphire and land drop does let us play on turn 3 a Doomsday plus Preordain. That's like a really tough one. You kind of it depends on like what my opponent, like if my opponent is on Oath, we really need a force. I'm just gonna go Sapphire Preordain and bottom the other land and see where that gets us. Mystical Ponder. So with Mystical on our upkeep, we can Mystical for a Dark Ritual, Doomsday, and Preordain. So we have a lethal. We'll probably want to put lethal on the stack, regardless. See what our opponent has for us here, though. Ooh, Volcanic Island. It's exciting. Could be a problem for us, but I'm gonna give it a shot. If my opponent counters this, then I'll let it get countered. I mean, we could just go Ancestral, play a land and Ancestral on their upkeep. Versus Volcanic Island. That's gotta be better line. Going all in just does not make a lot of sense here. And we still beat Flusterstorm with Mental Misstep, so it's kind of nice. So... okay. Yeah, Ancestral target me. Pyroblast. What a beast. Alright. I've got a Mental Misstep covering Pyroblast. You have more choices? Force as well. Okay, I mean, I'm glad we didn't go all in against Pyroblast Force of Will. I'll tell you that much. 5 cards for my opponent. A land still lets me go Doomsday, Preordain, win, so... actually, I really like how we played this game out. I'm pretty happy with the sequencing here. Oh, it is still Oath. Interesting. And Ancestral Recall. Uh-oh. The Pyroblast is coming back. All right. I'm looking for fetch land. Hope our opponent doesn't have a counterspell. Treasure Cruise, an interesting one. 7 cards in the yard at the moment. I don't want to lose my Ancestral, but I feel like I can lose my Ancestral here. I want to be able to break into a Doomsday pile with a Dark Ritual, so. They just have another negation. Pitching Show and Tell. Okay. Am I supposed to wait on this Preordain in case I can draw the break into the pile next turn? I think I have enough cards that I don't know. It's tough. It's got to be close. Lotus. I guess that's kind of sick, huh? Okay. You don't have a third force, right? All right. How do I build a pile here? I don't have an Ancestral. Gush, Time Walk, Oracle something, for sure. What is the 5th card of this pile? Gush, Time Walk, Oracle. Probe to get down to 0 against a Pyroblast. Then they just counter it. They can play Strip Mine, but we have extra stuff. So if they were to like we would draw Gush, and then we would Time Walk, and then we would play Oracle, and it would be fine. So I don't think we care about getting Wastelanded. We don't want Probe first card running into Mental Misstep. I think it might just be a Street Wraith. Yeah, but I mean, like, I can't, I don't have Ancestral, so I have to pick Gush. I mean, I guess I theoretically don't have to pick Gush. I could play a slower pile than Gush. I guess that would involve, I don't know. Like, you kind of need to draw multiple cards. I guess there like could be theoretically a brainstorm pile. Or no, not brainstorm because we would have no cards in hand. No, I'm pretty sure Gush is the correct top card. I don't like Fetch Sewer. No, not really. I'm gonna do a Street Wraith. Oracle Wraith. Oracle Time Walk. Gosh. I mean, they could be on 4 Wasteland. My opponent has a red source. They can play Ren and 6. But like like it stops me from playing Gush, right? But I still win on the next turn. So it's like I can't, if I don't put Gush as my first card, can I even win in one turn? I guess I theoretically could have made my pile 3 Street Wraiths, Oracle. Maybe I should have done that actually. What if I made my pile 2 Street Wraiths, Oracle land? That might have been better. The Sapphire makes things kind of weird, huh? That might have been better. Plays around negation more. Plays around more negations. I'm at 8 life. All right, yeah. I mean, if they have an oath, we lose. Wow. Yeah, I should have gone triple Street Wraith the Oracle. Damn. Wow. I missed that one. Yeah, no, I like triple Street Wraith Oracle actually is. Oh, they actually did not hit on this Atraxa, by the way. But they did hit land, show and tell, another Atraxa, though, so. I see, they're playing Breach combo. They're not on additional Wastelands, just the Strip Mine. Man, that's like the craziest punish, though. Oath plus Strip Mine. Yeah, I should have gone triple Street Wraith, double Oracle. Oh, I guess triple Street Wraith loses to Lightning Bolt. I don't see a Lightning Bolt, but yeah, that could have been true too. Yeah. But I didn't have to go triple Street Wraith. I only had to go double Street Wraith, right? Because that goes 2 down. Oh no, I do have to go 3 down. Okay. Well, if they have Beseiju as well, then. So they actually had Beseiju and Strip Mine and Oath. Because they didn't hit Beseiju out this Atraxa. Okay. I mean, you got it, homie. I misbuilt my pile for sure. 3 main deck Pyroblasts. How are you still playing Show and Tell? Oh, you have 4 Atraxas. Yeah, two race walk Oracle. Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, I mean I built a bad pile. I deserve to lose that game for sure. It's gonna be tough. 3 main deck Pyroblasts. Mystical. I didn't see a lightning bolt, but it's not unreasonable to assume a lightning bolt. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, I think I could have won that game. I built a better pile. I guess there's also, yeah, because I don't have to search off Beseiju, right? So if I'm playing around just like Beseiju, then I can still. I mean, my opponent could have gone Beseiju and Strip Mine there. I'm just like never beating Beseiju and Strip Mine. I guess I could theoretically beat it if I like puts a land in the pile. But that even then, that's like theoretical. I don't know. Like, I don't know if there's a pile that 100% wins there. Probably not. But yeah, I guess was weak to Strip Mine and Beseiju for sure. Maybe that's a good enough reason not to gush. I just didn't really think about the Street Wraith pile until after I had chosen. Nope. Sure. It's a turn 1 kill, so I haven't made too many bad piles today, but I definitely haven't made great piles today. My opponent had some really strong cards in that game. All right, I'm gonna go for the kill. So I Street Wraith into Lotus. I cast Lotus. I Ancestral. I Street Wraith into Lotus. I play Lotus. I cast Ancestral. I have 2 blue mana floating. I can get Oracle and Sapphire. And does anything else matter? So I Street Wraith down to 4. I Ancestral. I play Lotus. I Ancestral with 1 mana. If they counter at that point, I have a Flusterstorm 2, 1 mana. So it's just Oracle. I mean, I will be down. So I can play like second Oracle and Underground Sea in case something happens along the way. So Street Wraith down to 4, play Black Lotus, Ancestral down to 1, and I can still play everything. Yeah, looks good. I'm winning on this turn. Yes. Underground Sea, Oracle. I don't need a Diz. There's no point in adding a Diz. I have a Flusterstorm. If they counter my Lotus, I counter my Lotus. If they don't counter my Lotus, I have Flusterstorm back up here. I don't need a Diz. Like if they counter here, I Flusterstorm. I still have 1 mana. I go Sapphire Oracle. And if they counter my Oracle, then I still have Oracle and Console and Oracle and a Sea in my pile. Oh. I am the Discoverer now. It's kind of rough because, like I said, we should probably have won our last game, but I played badly. Yeah, I mean, I have an Oracle, so I don't need the Sea. Like I said, I have a Sapphire, right? So I don't need the Sea in there. I don't think your order makes it better, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I mean, if they have a mind ray trap, they have a mind ray trap. Like, well, that's fine. If they counter my Black Lotus, I have 4 cards. I am drawing my Ancestral Recall, and then I'm drawing down to 0 cards, and I have land and Sapphire, right? So, or do I not? Okay, so yeah, I still have land and Sapphire, don't I? I don't think you need Cavern. Has at any point in this tournament have we ever wanted a Cavern? I don't think so. Like, you can play Cavern, it's not bad. I just like why waste a sideboard slot on a card that doesn't matter? Like, the problem is not like having a Doomsday, or making your Oracle win the game after you cast a Doomsday. That's not a problem. It's resolving a Doomsday is a problem. I don't think Doomsday is like super hard, but like obviously there's percentages to be gained. My opponent passed the turn after probing me and doesn't have a land. What do we want to do? Because I can consult for a Dark Ritual, but I can't really break into my pile or anything. I'm just gonna go to the next turn here. Necro. Yes, that's what I want. I want that quite a lot. I have too many freaking triple black spells in my hand. Okay. Did they brainstorm lock themselves? No, they have a strip mine. Do I want this force still? It's like a legitimate question if I actually want this force. I kind of think there's some validity to like Street Wraith into force, consult for Dark Ritual, Necropotence. They clearly have a million counter spells. But how do I progress? I'm gonna make that play. I need to start like casting black spells here. I lost both my oracles and I died. Okay, sure. Okay, why not? Yeah, that's a rough way to end, but that is what it is. I think I'm done for the day. Anything about this deck? No, I think the deck was fine. I think there might be something that has to be done if you want to play this deck against a Lurrus control metagame, though. I don't know exactly what that is, but rough day. But it happens. We actually ended up like 3 and 4 on the day total. Yeah, I mean, we don't have to do anything, but like, I don't like doing nothing. I'm very unlikely to lose the game by consulting there for Dark Ritual. I'm putting a Necro on the stack with a Force backup. I mean, it's not like we have land drops and cantrips to play. Like, we did have a Ponder. We could have maybe gone for a Ponder, but what, if that misses, like, what are we doing there? We miss our land drop. We get stuck on one. Like, we don't know that they're Brainstorm locked. They could have just gone for Strip Mine over Fetch Land. Like, there's a lot of things that are happening there. I don't think it's like a straightforward, you don't have to do anything. But yeah, like I said, what did we end up doing? We ended up, we lost to a 4 Pyroblast main deck Oath, but I could have played better and we would have won. We lost to Discovery in the mirror where, I don't know, he just kind of crushed us. We lost to a control deck. We lost to another control deck. We beat a Doomsday mirror, and we beat another Lurrus player, and then I can't remember. There was one other one along the way, but I don't know. It wasn't really a super close tournament. We didn't really do super well. Not thrilled about it, but I also was not extremely excited coming into the tournament with the deck choice. This was just basically the only combo deck that I felt was reasonable, and I, when in doubt, I'd like to play a combo deck if I can help it. Obviously, if it wasn't a good choice at all, I wouldn't have played it. But I think you're pretty good against Dredge. You're basically good against the non-Lurrus decks. We just faced a bunch of Lurrus decks, and then we played some mirrors, and it is what it is. Yeah, there is a really big problem with playing this deck though. If the field is going to end up being 20% Lurrus again. I didn't face any Dredge in this tournament. Maybe that's because we took early losses and that kind of thing. But I definitely would like to have seen more Dredge if I wanted to play this deck in particular. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed our first tournament here recording, anyways, of post Saga Vintage. Hopefully, it starts healing soon from this restrictions. And we'll have lots of fun and enjoyable content coming up on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I'll see you then.